Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa. Good morning, I am Messi Bopo. This is a news brief. The death toll in building collapse on Lagos Island has risen to 4. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, also announced that 5 persons have been rescued. The Zonal Coordinator Southwest of NEMA, Ibrahim Farin Loye, said that further investigation from the incident showed that the collapsed building was under construction. He added that the developer was converting the bungalow building into a 3-story building before it collapsed. He also assured that the emergency responders were working hard to get to ground zero. The Lagos State Police Command has announced that motorcyclists and passengers who defied a new ban on Okada operations in the state will be arrested and prosecuted. The 6 local government listed by the governor are Ikeja, Surulere, Etiosa, Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island, and Apapa. The governor said the fresh Okada ban followed the February 2020 restrictions placed on the activities of commercial motorcycles. Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has assured that the circumstances which led to the death of Deborah Yakubu in the state will not recur. He said the fate suffered by Deborah was not a true representation of Sokoto people. But Tambuwal, while addressing delegates of PDP, said his state believed in the unity of Nigeria and his administration has demonstrated openness and oneness of the country. Youths across the country staged a rally in support for the candidacy of Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State in the 2023 presidential elections. They gathered at a massive crowd of youths in over 23 states across the 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation, which was tagged Nationwide Capacity Rally for Yahaya Bello. Participants chanted solidarity songs while carrying various placards in support of Bello. The youth said they had mobilized over 16 million active holders of the permanent voters card to actualize Yahaya Bello presidency come 2023. Godswill Akpabio has declared that he joined the presidential race in order to bring uncommon touch that the country needs if elected. He spoke after a closed-door meeting with former President Olusegun Obasanjo in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Akpabio said he would continue the positive impact of President Muhammadu Buhari in agriculture, power sector, among others. He added that he would bring uncommon transfiguration he orchestrated in Akwa Ibom State as a governor to the country if given the chance.
We came on a courtesy call to the former president and as one of the greatest leaders in Nigeria to intimate him and the good people of the state of our intention, my intention, to contest not just the nomination of my party, the All Progressives Congress, but also to clinch the ticket to run for the presidency of Nigeria come 2023. Because I believe that power belongs to God, and only God alone can give power. And at the stage we are in Nigeria today, we would like to have a serious continuity of the positive impact the president is making in the agricultural sector, in the infrastructure sector, and all that. And then, of course, also the need for integration of the nation in terms of national unity. I've done it before, as Governor Akwa Ibom said, when I brought Uncommon Transformation to my state. And I believe that at this time now, Nigeria needs Uncommon.
The Catholic Church in Boko area of Benue State has suspended Reverend Father Hyacinth Alier from public ministry for joining the governorship race in the state. The Bishop of the Diocese of Boko, Bishop William Advayan, noted these in a letter that the Mother Church does not allow her clerics to get involved in partisan politics. His suspension was contained in a letter to all priests, religious and laity Catholic Diocese of Boko dated May the 20th, 2023. The Catholic bishop noted that the canonical suspension takes effect from the moment it's communicated to him, and it lasts until he ceases from his interest.
You can see it stated very clearly in that letter that he has been suspended from celebrating public Eucharist. He remains the priest of the Catholic Church of the Diocese of Boko. The only thing that he's being suspended from is in the public pulpit. He can't go and stand on the pulpit in the public and celebrate Mass again. Privately, he can still be doing that. He only responded to the genuine agitation and cause by the Benue people for him to come and contest this election. You can find out from the Catholic Bishop and the Catholic Diocese of Boko. There are over 1,000 plus letters written by individuals and groups calling on the bishop to release him to do this work. And this is in line with the canon law. You can find out from the church itself. The canon law that forbids priests from participating in politics has a caveat. And I will expect you to find that as a journalist. And so, back to what you say, the chances of becoming a governor, you can see the response of the people. The people want him to become a governor. They know that becoming a governor does not stop him from priesthood. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the last paragraph of the letter, if he is elected the governor, he will go back.
A community development service program organized by the Gender Ambassador CDS Group in Lagos State has launched a project to send 50 girls back to school. Plus TV Africa's correspondent Destiny Momo has more.
With the spate of economic hardship and countless children dropping out of school, this community development service group named Ambassador CDS deemed it fit to send 50 girls back to school and provide them with back-to-school kits. State Coordinator NYSC Lagos Yetunde Baderinwa applauded the project, and other speakers encouraged the group on more of such possibilities.
Individual projects. So every year, the core members will continue. And we have the understanding and agreement with the sponsor of this event that they will continue. And these children will continue. It's not just for today, but their school fees for the next 6 years is taken care of. And we intend to expand. It's not going to stop at 50 with the support of individuals and philanthropy.
One of the highest number of out-of-school children. So any step or efforts to make sure that the young girls go to school is a highly welcome effort. And for this to be coming from a young lady or young women who are in the NYSC, I think it's very laudable.
There are programs like this, but the thing is to continue to encourage and continue to make sure that more and more of these are giving birth to. Because we cannot overestimate the importance of making sure that women are educated. When women are educated, there is a cascading effect upon children. Everybody benefits, everyone, because the children themselves, and particularly the young girls, they realize I can be educated.
Convener to Mininu Kolawole, who did this as a personal project in collaboration with her CDS group, spoke on the satisfaction derived from this project.
Every woman and every girl child has an opportunity to dream and to live their dreams. That irrespective of the circumstance of your birth, where you're born, who you are, you can be anything. And your background, either because you are financially unable to, should not be what will stop you from achieving those dreams. So it's just to make sure that everybody has an equal opportunity, especially the girl child and women in general.
The beneficiaries also showed their excitement about the scheme.
I want to say a very big thank you to the people that supplied us with this thing. It's going to help me really well.
I want to say thank you, ma. May God bless you people, and I'm a good at it too, from primary 3.
According to UNESCO, about 258 million children are out of school. But the CDS group and their sponsors will continue this project as time progresses. Destiny Mama, Plus TV News.
May 21st has been set aside by UNESCO as World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. This highlights not only the richness of the world's cultures, but also the essential role of intercultural dialogue for achieving peace and sustainable development. Our correspondent, Ngozika Ohaichesi, takes a look at the multicultural Nigeria in the midst of persistent insecurity.
In December 2002, the United Nations General Assembly in its resolution declared May 21 to be World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. The day is important to help communities understand the value of cultural diversity and learn how to live together in peace and harmony, irrespective of the cultural differences. Nigeria, a multicultural society with over 521 languages and over 1,150 dialects and ethnic groups, has been identified by some foreigners as a culturally complicated country to live.
I would say yes and no. Yes to the fact that we have some extremists. You know, some persons may see form of dressing, Western dressing, as a discredit to the culture. Like if you go to the north, if you are not wearing your hijab or your jalabia, you are seen as a war, something like that, as a lady. You can't be on pants and walk freely.
We appreciate each other's culture, in my opinion. But unfortunately, we've not been able to harness those cultures to bring everyone together.
If people can actually embrace one another and look at it from the aspect that we are actually one at the end, we'll actually, move this country, move it to the right direction.
I think as a people, Nigeria as a people, we should be more tolerant, amongst ourselves, our culture, our values, and most importantly, we should also try to tolerate ourselves when it comes to religion.
With the spate of insecurity and calls for self-determination which is loud on the southeastern part of Nigeria, cultural and ethnic diversity has often been described as a new threat. However, some beg to differ.
You see, there has been a gap. And that gap, unfortunately, government has not been able to handle it, even though they see it. Now, when you have unemployment, for instance, people go to school, met people to go to school, they finish school, and then there's nothing for them to do. That's a serious gap.
According to the United Nations, deepening the understanding of the values of cultural diversity, we can achieve the goals of promoting human rights and fundamental freedom in a nation like Nigeria, where ethnic and religious differences seem threaten the bond formed since 1960 when she got her independence. Ngozika Ohaichesi, Plus TV News.
There is a place in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, believed to be where the Adire fabric started from and gradually spread to what it is today. Habibat Ajayi takes us on a historical journey on the production of Adire textile.
The Adire textile production is inborn for the Egba people and inherited by birth. They see the craft as a family business, an heritage which passes on to descendants of families. Jojolola's compound of Kemta was the first to produce it in Abeokuta by Miniya Jojola Shueton, the second Yalodi of Egbaland, who then passed on the process to our children and onward to the future generations. The first Adire material was made with Theru and Elu, made from the Elu leaf, which is planted in the Shaki area of Oyo State. Over the years, creating Adire designs now involves simple techniques, including tie and dye, folding, crumpling and sprinkling, and also the splashing of hot wax on fabrics as a resistant agent in place of the indigenous cassava paste. Women remained specialists in the dyeing, tying, hand painting and sewing, as men became involved in decorating techniques using a stitching machine and applying starch through zinc stencils.
I love Adire, to be precise, and I love culture. I love our heritage. I've been from Ogun State, Abeokuta. I love a lot of things that come from Abeokuta. A lot of experience like having using a plain material and turning it to things beautiful. A lot of challenges. If you are not determined, you cannot do this work.
I love anything that is associated with tradition. And it's part of what we have as a culture in Egbaland here. So it's very, very good, particularly if you step outside the country and you have these things on. You are being adored. So it's good to equally promote the works of our hands.
Some of the traders and residents expressed their worries as the youths are showing little or no interest in the Adire craft.
You don't have younger ones because there's nothing propelling them, nothing enticing them into doing it. So if the government wants to come in, they could help, incentives and whatever, to help the younger ones to take interest and do some of these little things.
Government, they are not helping our situation that much. As in, most of all these fabrics you are looking around here, there's none produced by the material we are using and everything. They are all imported. They bring them from far away, and that makes it more challenges.
Recently, the Governor Abiodun-led administration is making all efforts to support the Adire textile by digitalizing it. There are also plans to make the fabric compulsory for secondary school students as uniforms at least once a week. And this is also applying to his cabinet members.
The policy of the government has really helped them in terms of the profits and in terms of their turnover. And that, as it may, has been a plus to this administration. And that we can also confirm from all the producers of the Adire fabric.
Adire textile is the indigo dyed cloth made in southwest Nigeria using a variety of resist dyeing technique.
Gordon Barrett, in partnership with the European Union delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, African Development Bank, Nexium Bank and the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority today organized a mental health walk with the theme Inner Peace as Priority. It is in commemoration of the Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is a critical part of health and well-being, yet it has been neglected in Nigeria with little awareness like many other countries across the globe. Nigeria is faced with multi-public health challenges. It is pertinent to accelerate the conversation around mental health and how individuals can remain mentally and emotionally stable despite the life challenges that besiege us all.
Interacting, connection with people, and the coping mechanism to just, deal with the mental health. And protect our kids. You see, for parents, you know your child more than anybody else. School, being in school is not enough anymore. The teachers are also grappling with the issues. You need to look at the body language and non-verbal communication of your children. There's also pressure in the school. You see that your child is not happy. You need to also compartmentalize being a mother and a father to also being a friend to your child. Let them be able to talk to you. Let them be able to talk to you in the different avenues of being a mother or a father, to being a friend, to understand what are the issues they're dealing with and how you can deal with it at home.
People are taking advantage, public bodies are taking advantage of what's available within the mental health improvement states. Like we always say, every day should be a mental health day, and I'm happy to see this happening. But you can see from all indications, I mean, a very good demographic was represented. We had the younger ones, we have the older ones coming together. It means people are beginning to understand that mental health affects us all, irrespective of our age and gender. But one thing we've learned here today is that mental health is not discriminatory. Mental health is not respect of anyone. Anybody can have it any time in his or her lifetime. But this has been a very good program and it turned out very important.
Actually, the work is very supportive for the mental health because people that ignore mental health, it's very important in each house. You can see your partner, your wife, your kids, maybe they need help, but they will not show it to you. You have to ask them always, are you okay? Do you need any help? So mental health, it's really important for each one of us.
Nigerians speak on the need for regular medical checkups as untreated cases of hypertension double. And that's on our Street Views. Take a listen.
But as far as I'm concerned, people are very, very scared about going to hospital to check up. Simply because the day they go to hospital to check for them, to ask about their checkup, about their health-wise, whatever, when they tell them you are carrying so disease in your body, they will be like, what's all this? So their days of death will start counting from that day. So that's why you see many people, they'll be running for it. And if you look at it, average of Nigerians are dying every day simply because of ignorance, of not going to do their medical checkup.
Some believe going to the general hospital involve a hectic tax. That you want to go to the general hospital, it's a thing that will probably take a whole day to do. Then why other than want to go to private hospital, consider the financial issues. That is not easy go by.
The truth is bitter. You still have to check your health because, like I said, health is wealth. It's very important to do the checkup before it's too late. Once it's too late, there's no going back. Yeah, it's quite expensive. We all know medical aspects in Nigeria is expensive. So we're still waiting if the government can still try and make something affordable for everybody.
They will say, go and do this test, 50,000. Go and do that test, 100,000. Even people that don't have money, that carry ordinary fee for there, and I tell them to go and do tests of 150,000, 30,000. Where would they get the money? Immediately they add the price of the money, their BP will arise, and they will later die.
If it's possible to have an insurance, go for an insurance that will be able to cover up for your bills when it comes to medical issues.
Nigerian mentality in going for medical checkup is very poor. Some will tell you that, I'm not sick, why should I go to the hospital for checkup? But it is very, very important. Cost of medical checkup in Nigeria is very high. But sometimes in government hospitals, but even when you go to government hospitals, you even be stressed up, the queue and all that. So you still have to go back to private hospitals. But at the same time, no matter how expensive it might be, our health is very, very important.
And outside Africa, Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan has objected to Sweden and Finland joining NATO and has discussed his concerns about terrorist organization. Tayyip Erdogan told Sweden's Prime Minister Andersson and Ankara expected concrete steps to address its concerns, according to Turkish presidency. He also said an arms export embargo imposed on Turkey after Syria inclusion in 2019 should be lifted. In another call, Tayyip Erdogan told Finnish president that failing to deal with terrorist organization that pose a threat to NATO ally would not suit the spirit of alliance. Turkey says Sweden and Finland harbor people linked to the Kurdish Worker Party militant group and followers of the Ankara, accusing of orchestrating a 2016 coup attempt. A budding Afro singer, Michael, also known as Sheyi Bird, has described an investment in music business as both a huge business and also risks. He said the funds expanded on music project cost millions of naira with no guarantee there would be return on investment. The singer also threw a jab at the federal government for pointing accusing fingers at the Nigerian youth for the incessant killings and kidnappings in the country. He said now that the elections are coming, politicians are ready to do anything to attain power. He called on the government to encourage the energy and talent of the young people and add that great value to the country. And in sports, Kylian Mbappe has signed a contract extension with Paris Saint-Germain that will keep the France forward tie with the Ligue 1 side until 2015. The French champion said on Saturday, May the 21st. Mbappe and the club president posed holding Mbappe 2025 PSG shirt before the last game of the Ligue 1 season against Metz as the crowd erupted when the president broke the news at the center. France forward, whose current contract expires on June 30th, had been widely tipped to join Real Madrid. PSG signed Mbappe from as Monaco in 2017 in a deal reported to be 180 million euros, making him the world's second most expensive signing after Neymar, who joined PSG from Barcelona for 222 million euros. Real Madrid's bid to sign Mbappe last year was rejected by the Parisian club, who appeared prepared to lose him on a free transfer in 2022. Report last year claimed that the Spanish champion had offered PSG as much as 200 million euros for the Frenchman. And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit our website at www.plustvafrica.com and subscribe to YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. I am Mese Bopo. Many thanks for watching.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa.
জানে নাই যে তারা যেটা যাচাই করে নাই। আমার নাম মাহি। আমার যখন 11 বছর বয়স ছিল নিজেও জানি না। তারপরে আমি বলছি যে আমি এখন বিয়ে করবো না, আমি পড়তে চাই। আমার মারে বললো
ini bas punya sila lupa dia kuna mtu anakuja ndaombi kwa anataka kuoa huyo labda mzuri tu mdogo mimi nikafanyaje nikamwambia pia alikushimika imermeza zake ndio midad bozam peder مادر هیچی نمیگفتم و هیچ کسی چی نمیگفتم بازم به من رقم تیر میکردم.
In 2018, Voice of America posted videos on social media of girls and women describing their experiences as brides and young mothers. The videos sparked a global conversation, receiving tens of thousands of comments and arguments for and against child marriage. Spurred by the overwhelming response, VOA journalists and photographers spent a year chronicling child brides around the world, putting faces and voices to a practice the United Nations is trying to eliminate by 2030. They focused on the worth of a girl and her value to two families, the one she leaves behind and the one she joins. What they found was troubling. In much of the world, child marriage is common and acceptable, and the lives of girls aren't worth very much.
به مکتب میرفتم صنف 7 بودم 10 روز بمونده بود که امتحانا سالانه بودم که برم صنف 8 من عروسی که بکردم دیگه نگذاشتم هرچی که من گفتم میرم به مکتب میرم امی خسور و خشوم همگی گفتن که اگه تو بری به مکتب ما.
At 13, Samaya was a dutiful daughter and sister in Afghanistan, helping her family make ends meet. Her father sold her to an abusive relative for $3,300.
این مرمی زدک دو میداد باز همه به پدر مادر هیچی نمیگفتم به هیچ کسی چی نمیگفتم بازم به من رقم تیر میکردم همین تا با مشت و لغت و هردم مرمی زدم و دو میدادم فاش میگفتم مثلا اثری نمونه به جان شلاقی چیزا نمیزدن که اثری بمونه.
Samaya represents child brides around the world, poor, powerless, barely educated, whose resistance to marriage is either ignored or overruled. Like most, she had no choice in the decisions made by the grown-ups in her life. She was a business deal.
کارا مارکی میکنم موتور بخریدیم اون مقدارمو هم که میگفتم میرم مکتب
Njëra nga motrat e mia që ishte, domethënë ishte më lart pak më e madhe se te unë, vuante me një sëmundje të rëndë, domethënë nga veshkat, të dyja veshkat I kishte jashtë funksionit për jetën, dhe ishte në rrezik vërtet për jetën. Dhe mamaja ime vendosi që të bënte motrën operacion që të më martonte mua me dikë tjetër dhe të bënte motrën operacion, sepse ky njeri që më mori mua për djalin e tij kishte, domethënë, kishte muhabet shumë me doktorët e Durrësit. Ky ishte një detyrim ndaj familjes, edhe unë e bëra për hir të si me motre për të shpëtuar jetën. Më vajti vajza Bleona 11 vjeçe, edhe merdi dikush ma kërkoj po nga komuniteti, po ishte egyptian. U detyrova, thash për mua si ta ketë shkujtash Zoti jetën, thash për paktën vete di që të flej rrugëve, për paktën vetëm fëmijën ta kem të strehuar, sepse nuk njihja ndonjë këtu që ta mund ta strehoja fëmijën. Po faktikisht jam ndjer shumë e penduar, por më bëri jeta, fatkeqësia e jetës.
Child marriage is not confined to girls in poor, developing countries or members of a certain religion or tribal custom. Even girls in the wealthiest countries, like the United States, are child brides.
I have 4 boys. I have a 7-year-old, an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Ashley got married under the mistaken belief that her 18-year-old boyfriend would be jailed for statutory rape of a minor in the state of Missouri. Ashley said 2 of her cousins, one a year younger than her, married soon after she did.
Good. I got married when I was 15. I just found out I was pregnant not long before I got married. My aunt got on the bus and she told me to get off the bus, that I was going to go get married that day. All I can remember is hearing all the kids gasp and was like, she's too young. We went to the courthouse and got our marriage license. And then we went to a preacher's house here in Steele, and he married us. I don't think either one of us realized how big of a commitment we were making then. No, that day I think I was happy, but I know there was definitely fear and doubt in my mind. I mean, I was happy that I was about to do what I thought was start a family, and I was excited more for the future than I think I was for the present.
عمر مې چې دی یو 4 سال کېږي چې عمر مې دی 6 میاشتې کېږي چې واده کړی مې دی. دلته راغلی مور مې ډېر قرض وکړي په قرض کې خلک ماوې وړي. ژړل مې ټول خلک ته مې مجبور ولو نو سمو کال قرضداریان داسې مو ټینګ کړی و. بیا مې ټول ول چې قرضداریان دې ټینګ کړی دي پیسې نه لري ورکړه ول پیسې نه لري ورکړه خپل لور ورکړه.
In much of the world where marriage is a transaction marked by cultural expectations and traditions, young brides like Samaya and Bobogai pay the biggest price with their innocence, independence, and freedom.
واده مې چې وکړ ژړل مې اوس 2 میاشتې کېږي خپل د خپل د میړه کور دلته راغلی یم. داسې راباندې کار ډېر کوي، کار مې هم نه دی لږ زده نه دی دغه دپاره اوس دلته خپل مور سره راغلی مور مې لږ کار راته ښیي. ژوند مې مخ ته هم دغسې و تماس سبا ووتم ماپښین د عینونه 500 روپۍ 60 روپۍ 10 روپۍ کبان مې ټولول. دا چې واده مې وکړ په دغه ورځ مې واده ولا زه ولاړم کباړ ته ولاړم. کباړ مې ټولول، کاغذان مې ټولول، عینان مې ټولول. خرڅ مې کوي نو ډوډۍ موټۍ راوړم دا کوچنیان خوري چې خرڅ مې نه کوي دغسې تجه ناسته دی. ته اوس لنډې مرض لا لرم ساه مې چې ډېرې بندېږي دغه یخ چې کېږي داسې ساه مې بندېږي تمام ورځ په بستر یم تمام ورځ جګرخونې کوم او تمام ورځ داسې ورته زړه مې دغسې اور وایم واخیستی.
मेरी नंढी उम्र में शादी थी तो मैंने छोकरी मैंने बाबे ये सोचा उसी तो मैं तो मैंने दिला पानी तक मैंने बाबे क्या तो वही थी सीट पे जब मैं बिलावन डो है ना वड्डा छोकरा बिलावन असारा नंढे वाला रवाज है ना नंढे उम्र पे शादी कर छोड़े लिया नंढी उम्र पे करने तला पीछे मेरे बाबे मना देती है मैं और जैसे तो पीछे माँ शादी कर छोड़े सा
Over and over, girls are forced to leave classrooms where they thrived and into marriages where most of them never wanted to be.
शादी का पेरी मना मैं स्कूल विंदी हम तो सुठो लगंदा हो मां जब मैं पढ़ा वो वाले शादी को मुझे शादी थी वही तो मैं जाना भी मुझे शौक आए हो पर मैं शादी के पीछे भी मैं मना स्कूल मैं शौक आया मेरे पढ़ने दा मां जब मैं पढ़ा सारे छोकरे इवें करन ना दिला पानी ने चाहिए शादी कर छोड़े शादी के पेरे मां आजाद हो मना घर जो काम कर अपनी मर्जी ते करेंदी हम पीछे वाले मां पे वादे करेंदी हम ना तो अठे बैठी हुंदी हम वांदी बैठी हुंदी हम और शादी के पीछे वाले सजी घर दी जिम्मेवारी आ गई ना सजी घर दी जिम्मेवारी आ गई तो सजी घर दा काम कार मना बालक संभालना पीछे भी मैंने घर वाले मैंने पीछे रोक छोड़े ना घर दी सजी जिम्मेवारी आ गई अपनी दीदी शादी मना वडी थी सी पीछे करवाई सा
Growing up in poverty, the girls value an education.
Iya sih, takutnya gitu yang ditakutkan. Dulunya sih sempat nangis gitu, mau udah saya tuh pengen sekolah aja dulu. Tapi kata maknya udah nggak ada biaya, jadi nggak bisa lanjut itu. Kata orang tua udah gini aja, udah nikah aja. Baru umur anak dibikin cepet aja, anak umur 2 tahun saya udah ditinggal. Ya mungkin karena enggak terurus mungkin. Ya kayak sayanya kan belum bisa ngurus suami sama anak mungkin. Mungkin kurang diurus gitu, makannya, tidurnya gitu. Kalau saya kan pengennya bermain terus sama teman-teman.
To kamar da kika sani dai ban fara al'ada a lokacin ba, amma kuma sai ina gidan mijin na fara. To kuma dai da na zo haihuwa dai kin san yanayin da yara karancin shekaru baka yi girman ma da zaka san menene matsalolin ciki ba, amma wurin haihuwa dai an sha wahala.
Khadija, a member of the Fulani tribe, comes from a family of clerics. At 13, she was 2 years younger than the age limit that girls in her family are married off.
Amma ba a yin sama da haka. To maganar kuma da kika yi min na cewa akai haɗi ne, to zan iya cewa haɗi ne tunda a lokacin ba zan iya tantancewa me ya so me ya kiyayya ba kuma ban san ma ya so yake ba.
Throughout the world, young girls realize almost immediately the harsh realities of an early marriage.
Ai vërtet ishte I verbër, po ishte alkoolist, nuk rinte në shtëpi. Isha 13 vjeç, 7 muaj, ishte 24 vjeç në atë kohë. Martesa zgjati 15 vite, mbasi unë bëra 4 fëmijë me këtë që kisha. Dhe pastaj durova I thash, u detyrova që ikje sepse nuk mund të rinja dot më.
আরে যখন স্কুলে যখন পড়তেছিলাম যে আজকে আমি প্রতিদিন পড়তে থাকতাম আজকে মানুষ এত লাঞ্ছনা এত কথা এত কিছু শোনা লাগতো না ভালোটা চাকরি বাকরি করতে পারতাম ভালোটা কাজ কাম করতে পারতাম কিন্তু অথচ এখন মূর্খ দেখা এখন পড়াতে দূরের কথা এখন আজ পর্যন্ত আমার স্বামী আমার লাথি মেরে ফেলাতে হয়ে গেল আর যেটি পড়ালেখা থাকতো তো স্বামী যেতে পারতো না এরকম আমাকে ফেলাতে আজকে যদি লেখাপড়া করতাম পাঁচটা জানতাম বুঝতাম শুনতাম তাহলে আজকে আমার এই দিনটা দেখা হইতো না একমাত্র বাবা আমার ভুলের কারণে আর বিয়েটা হয়ে যাওয়ার কারণে আজকে আমি এই রাস্তায় আজকে আমি এই পথে
خود اینا که همه بی سوادن ایران میگفتم طور نمیگذاره مکتب اگه تو بری کارام که میکنه بعد از عروسی هم شوهر معخول بدور مادر پیش میکرد پیار پیش میکرد مکتب خو همه می دوران طفولیت خورد از من مکتب خوش دیدم که
is about more than just sitting here and talking about women's issues. It's about listening to them
and bringing their opinions to the table and making sure their voices are heard.
Because our lived experiences, our stories, and our voices will help shape the next generation.
Health, wellness, sport, beauty, medical breakthroughs. Healthy Living cares about your well-being. Every week, connect with our experts. You can ask them your questions and get their advice. Join me, Linor Moudou, in Washington on Healthy Living, your new health program, right here on Voice of America.
In a village in Tanzania, faced with the prospect of being married off to a stranger, 14-year-old Mwana Hamisi took control of her own destiny. She said no.
Siku hiyo ikatokea shughuli, nikaenda pale katika shughuli za tuseme za shule za graduation, nikaenda tukafanya sherehe, nikasikia kama mtu na umri mdogo anataka kuolewa. Fika kituoni, akataja zile namba za simu, nikachukua zile namba nikaziandika, nikaondoka zangu nyumbani. Nilia, mama akasemaje, nenda, nikaondoka zangu. Niliondoka zangu hivyo fika siku ya pili ile, yule bibi akanipa ile simu ili niwasiliane na yule bwana. Aliponipa ile simu, mimi nikaichukua ile simu, nikaziandika zile namba, nikaanza kuwasiliana na polisi. Nikawasiliana nao, akaniambia inabidi ulipate hilo jina la baba na hizo tarehe. Ilifika siku ya pili, nikamuuliza mama, mimi naolewa tarehe ngapi? Akaniambia tarehe kuhusu ananioa nani? Akaniambia hivi vinavyo kuhusu wewe hapo kaa. Akaja mwenyekiti wa mtaa. Ulipofika usiku, akaja mwenyekiti wa mtaa, akasema wewe ndo Damwana? Nikamwambia ndio. Akaniambia aje, sisi tumepata taarifa kutoka kituoni kama wewe unataka kuolewa. Kweli wewe? Nikamwambia kweli. Kwa mwenyewe na mimi sitaki kuolewa. Basi mwenyekiti tena akatumwa aende kule eneo la tukio, akaambia hii ndoa isitishwe.
She now lives in a shelter with other vulnerable girls and dreams of a career in fashion. Despite a worldwide acceptance of child marriage, the young brides realize their own self-worth. Girls marry for a number of reasons. But what about old-fashioned love? As the saying goes, it's complicated. Estrella was in the 6th grade when she fell in love. She married her boyfriend over their parents' objections. In Mexico, roughly 1 in 4 girls is married or in a live-in relationship by age 18.
Me llamo Estrella Belén Estrada Rodríguez, tengo 13 años, iba de segundo grado de la secundaria, sino que lo pensaba por mi escuela, pues, pero como lo quiero mucho, sí quería estar con él. Cambió pues porque estudiaba y llegando pues ya estaba todo listo. Ya ahorita pues tengo que atender a mi esposo. Me levanto temprano a darle pues su café para las 5:40, 6. Ya después empiezo a limpiar la casa, los trastes, lavo su ropa, todo, ¿no? Y ya le ayudo a mi suegra a hacer pues el desayuno para que aprenda yo a cocinar, pues, más que nada, porque como no muy sé, pues, ya mi suegra me enseña. Pero ya me estoy acostumbrada.
Okay, I live in Dyersburg, Tennessee. I work all the time, take care of my baby and the husband. That's about it.
At 16, Katie married a man twice her age. Her mother signed the marriage license.
I got pregnant underage, and that was kind of what had us go ahead and get married so I wouldn't send him to jail. A lot of people look down on them for it and stuff, you know, but like I told them, I don't care what anybody thinks. I love them, you know, it is what it is. I mean, we're like any other marriage couple. We've had our problems. I mean, we split up, I went and stayed with them for a little bit, but we just know we want to live with each other, we want to be with each other, you know what I mean? So we work through our problems. I couldn't live without them.
Sultan in Turkey can relate to that. Now nearing 60, hers was an arranged marriage. She has 2 sons and no regrets.
Güzel bir şeydi. Bilmiyorum. Ben de çocuktum. Beraber büyüdük oğlumla. Ama eşimi hiç tanımamıştım, bilmiyordum. Zamanla biz birbirimizi tanıdık. Şimdi çok mutluyum, çok şükür. Yani iki tane aslan gibi oğlum var. Güzel bir yerdedirler. Eşimle beraber yaşıyorum.
مدتی که اونجا در خونه بودی 1 سال ادعا می‌کنی و در خونه بودی برخورد اینا با تو چطور؟
عکس‌ها خلیجی ببینم گناه نداره.
هیچی گناه نداره.
8 months after her first interview, Samaya is transformed. She is divorced and living at home, away from the beatings and violence of her in-laws. Her father was sentenced to 2 years in jail for forcing her into marriage. She's happy and healing and wants to learn to read the Quran.
اونا دارن زندگی خور میکنم، من زندگی عادی خور شروع کردم، خیاطی میکنم، من مادر یک براری دارم، برار من فعلا به شرکت مایه بره کار میکنه، دیگه کسی نیاز ما که مثلا نوار خونه ما فقط مانه، اول خدا بعد از ما برار مینه کلا نمینه، پدر ما کارم نمیکرد. بله فعلا بیتر شده، حالا که پیام نیم خب به کل بیتر شده، به خاطر از اینکه پیام که به جنگ دعوا میکرد و چه میکرد، اون پولی که ما خیاطی کردی از ما میسون، به این واسه از اون لحاظ خیلی خوب. خونه دیگه ما خیاطی مانه که مثلا اپرانه که بیارم برای ما خیلی میارم، بیشتر خیاطی پیش مانه.
na nikaendelea kusoma ile shule tuseme. Ndoto zangu nataka niwe mwana design mzuri.
Ya alasan saya mengajukan ke MK, jangan sampai adanya pernikahan anak lagi. Udah cukup saya aja yang jadi korban, kalau dinikahin masih anak, masih kecil tuh. Aduh nggak enak rasanya. Iya, memperjuangkan anak gitu. Udah jangan sampai kayak saya gitu. Harus diperjuangkan anak.
What about your microphone, Mama?
It just stays there.
Why?
It just does.
Nie minuty, ja to podzielu.
Unë e martova se mbeta në rrugë, ku mund ta çoja unë vajzën time. Pra ma kisha në një shtëpi me vajzën, kisha një shtëpi personale siç jam këtu për shkak. Me vajzën time, normalisht unë do ta arsimoja fëmijën. S'kishte nevojë vajza im për burr 11 vjeçë, 12 vjeçë, 13 vjeçë. Ta arsimohesh, të shkonte në një punë, të punonte për veten e saj në një kurs, për veten e saj, jo për mua, për veten. Unë do punoja vetë edhe për fëmijën që fëmia im të ishte dikushi.
Girls like Samaya are the exception rather than the rule. Around the globe, they remain at risk. For every girl like Mwana Hamisi who escaped an unwanted marriage, millions more are trapped in abusive, unhappy unions. For every Katie and Sultan who found love, comfort and stability, millions more are like Khadija, and Orkida, who don't know what love is.
Unë I bëj një mesazh të gjithë këtyre nënave, vërtet ne vetë jena martuar në një moshë të vogël, por të paktën fëmijëve tanë t'i japin një arsimim të mirë, dhe fëmia mund të martohet në një moshë e pakta 20 vjeç, e pakta।
তাই আমি সবার কাছে বলবো একটা কথাই কমু যে আমার মতো আমরা চাই না যে কোনো মেয়ের বাবা মা কোনো মেয়েকে অল্প বয়সে বিয়ে দিয়ে কোনো মেয়ের পড়ালেখা নষ্ট করুক বা কোনো মেয়ের জীবনটা নষ্ট করুক।
I do regret, not finishing school, growing up way too fast. That's just stuff you shouldn't do when you're a kid, honestly. I see that all now. I didn't see it then, though, and you can't change it.
Ending marriage before 18 is one of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It asks that governments, civil society organizations, religious and community leaders and families work together to re-evaluate the worth of their goals. It's a community effort, it's a country effort, it's a global effort.
So if somebody would have had a similar story to mine and would have told me, I wish that would have happened for me. I wish I had somebody to tell me that I was making the wrong choice.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges. The growing youth population with little engagement, that is a ticking time bomb. We are a blessed people with diverse culture and highly cerebral minds who have a lot to say. And yes, we are talking. It is important we drive the right conversation that informs, inspires, influences thoughts and action. If we say there's beauty in our diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture. We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation as we are the hope for the future. Yesterday's conversations shape today. What are you saying to shape your tomorrow? We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
How can we have peace without justice?
Plus Politics. It's not just another political conversation, it's about keeping you in the know. The relevant interviews, asking the tough questions to those that matter. Get the answers you need. Does it mean that the people who were injured, people who were shot at, those who were involved in that stampede are not going to get justice?
It is unfortunate, it is sad that we have a government of deaf and dumb.
Analysis from top experts.
The last election was not really an election.
We feel that Obasanjo has a very special place in his heart for hating Ijaw people.
I think it really boils down to two things. One, trust and accountability.
Plus Politics, every weeknight at 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
money drama. So I ask, do women and men view money differently? Is the attitude to money gender specific? When it comes to money, what is the best practice? Well, we shall be finding out as my sisters and I, Adesua, Saudat, and Fumi Gombe, our guests today, discuss money when we come back. I am Fumi Oyetunji, and this is The Lounge. Welcome to TW Conversations, where we discuss burning issues. We'll see you after the break.
I don't know if you guys noticed. When I was coming on set, I took a glass of water. These girls don't understand. It's getting hot in here. We're talking money. Because when it comes to money, all our ears perk up. We want to earn it, but how do we do it? But I'm more interested, and Fumi is the guru in the house. We all accept it, Abi. Those that know, this woman, how many years of experience? It's even in your book.
Thank you.
It's true now.
Let me tap anointing.
I tap. Won't you tap?
Thank you. So when it comes to money, there's the opening of the chapter on financial planning
Please,
and
it's
wealth.
your book. Please look at it. It's
Yes,
the book.
it's the book.
A Conscious Life, Navigating Critical Stages and Aspects of Life Successfully. We have an author in the house.
Written by me, and chapter 5 is about finance and wealth creation. And the chapter starts with, money answereth too many things. It might be true that money cannot buy happiness, but the fact that having enough of it affects so many aspects of our lives makes it a critical part of a consciously lived life. Everybody will agree with me that money is that important. It is important from a very pragmatic aspect. You know, it's not about worshiping money. And yes, all our happiness is not dependent on money.
For me, as you're assuming that we agree with you. Me, I don't believe money is important.
Okay.
I don't believe money is important.
You just tell me the aspect of your life and then I'll help you along.
Okay. Well, money is a means to an end.
It is? That's why it is important.
It's a means to an end. So I'm not going to make it the whole essence of my life. I don't care if I have money or not.
We don't want you.
Are you sure, Auntie?
We don't want you to...
Are you sure? Choices, options.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. It gives you standing in the society, any society. It doesn't stand alone, but it is very, very important.
Maybe we should be defining how important, okay, I'm sorry I'm doing this. You know why? To me, people are too focused on making money in Nigeria today. Look at this young woman.
So we don't want to worship money.
No, look at this young woman. No. Okay, I don't know. Look at it. Fumi is laughing. Fumi is what the Yorubas call Onokon Waja, but experts like this is what?
It's called multiple streams of income.
Thank you.
No, tell us what you do.
Because she has a day job and she
I
has
have
a side work.
Oh, that's the one they call it.
It's like a hustle.
So multiple streams of income, important.
No, but okay, tell me about this two-side life that you have now.
Okay, I do have a day job, a 9 to 5. However, I also take care of children at weekends. I'm a nanny. I call myself the chief nanny at weekends. Apart from the fact that it earns extra income for me, it's actually a passion that I'm pursuing. I love children. And then I decided that, okay, why not care for children at events? Mm-hmm. And yes, so I'm doing something that I love, and at the same time, I'm earning from it.
But, I don't know about that. Is it good to do something? Anyway, let me not take over this conversation. I'm just worried because...
No, but let's look at NGOs, social enterprises. Mm-hmm. They're doing it for a cause, they have social impact and all that, but they're well paid for it. Very well paid for it. Yeah.
So let's not digress from the import of money. I'm the first to say we should not worship money.
Maybe you should define...
And it cannot be the whole essence, like you said, of a life. It's a byproduct of the essence of a life. But it is a byproduct that is very important.
Okay, you said in your intro something about do men and women view money differently? Because I always, we are raised with the perception that men take care of the home. In terms of they pay school fees, do all of that thing. So we don't need to earn as much as the men. So our attitude to money is different.
You just played that out now. You started with money is not important.
Yeah, but because isn't it possible? I just feel like it's not because my husband can afford it.
Exactly. Even when women, it's cultural. It can be cultural, acculturization, where the female is not so gung-ho about making money because she feels somebody else is doing it. And men, no, they have to, because society has given them the responsibility of catering for their family. So that might be at the root of the fact that men and women view or have a different attitude to money.
So you agree that men and women view money differently?
They do.
Well, I don't know, really. There was this stat that was quoted on social media during this week. They talked that when a woman makes money... It's a UN stat. When women make money, about 90% of what they make is spent on the family. And,
that's even generous. I think it was 99.
And the girl asked that, what do guys spend their money on? Then all the men on the thread said, women. Where else do we spend our money on? So we actually see things, we spend it on the same thing, but the proportion is different, because I don't know how you say a woman... Yes, if you train a woman, you train but when a man and a woman have money, the man is going to spend money. If he's not spending on his wife, he's spending on his side chick. If they're spending on the same thing, the priorities are different.
Before we go in that direction, so I can prefer why men are different in terms of... She's just described it. 99% of our money, or female money, gets spent on family and food and children, while men are more strategic about their spending. They make money, but we've also put the responsibility of finding a home on them. So he knows either he has to build a house or he has to pay the rent.
Yeah.
He has extended family that they expect him to look after. So the men are pragmatic and strategic in the way of, when I get that pay...
Can we be like that?
We can.
Some women are like that.
Some women are like that, exactly. Even in today's homes,
in the young homes.
I don't know about that. Okay, but you find that some women are earning a bit more than their husbands, and they've had to take that strategic outlook, on how to spend the money.
Multiply the money.
Absolutely. So
it depends on the role you're giving in a family.
Yes.
So it's a question now of is it who earns it? Well, first of all, I think we've all agreed here that perspectives change, and it's almost like it's cultural.
The import of every one of us taking money seriously is actually about planning it. And we were talking about the role you're giving in the family is what helps you to be strategic or not.
No, who gives you a role? Is it by virtue of what you were raised to be, or by virtue of...
There's culture, you can assume it, but you can also unlearn what culture placed on you and become more strategic and pragmatic about money. And this discussion should be about getting more people on board to be pragmatic.
Okay.
Yes, I believe so. In the first place, I think, I should ask you, I think that when people are financially independent, it contributes to their confidence.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a man or a woman.
Your confidence, your standing in the society, everything. It gives you options.
I don't want to use the word power, but in the end, it is power.
It is power.
Okay, aren't we having problems now these days? We say men are the ones that are the primary providers. So culture has made it that way, and therefore they are more pragmatic about making money. Yes. When the shoe is turned on the other foot, because when you find that since Beijing, a lot of us are going out, we're working, we're earning money, and when we make the money and we have more than our husband, isn't that a trouble too?
Why?
It should not be a problem.
But isn't it? Is the question I'm asking. Doesn't it create... I can give you stories. In fact, I'm sure you can...
I can give you stories on the other side too.
On the other side too. When the man makes the money and we don't see it.
No, apart from that, even though you don't see it, some men make the money and they turn their wives into slaves.
Yes.
So it's not about when a woman makes money, she becomes the Lord. It's the person's character.
On the other hand, can I also say that because, I don't earn more than my husband, but I've always been a
very
substantial
contributor
earner in there. And I think it's about the confidence of the man you're with.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I think you just hit the nail on the head,
That is
actually.
all there is. When a man is confident in his role and position in the family, and I always say to men, it's a shame if you're living with somebody who can be a good earner and a helpmeet in financial situations, and you don't take the advantage of it. It's a shame, and it's a waste. Because what, like the Bible said, what two can do, two strong financial heads can do, is much more than what one is doing.
You know, I think Saudat made a point there, which I would like you to speak to. That it depends on the character of the person. Because you must understand that if, for example, I know a friend who, her husband was out of a job, right? And she is a caterer. She used to go out to work. And she would go to cook and everything. She comes back and she still does the work at home after going at home. There was a day her son had homework. It was raining. She had gone to go and do some catering job and came back. She came back. The man didn't get up to help her. She came back and the son had homework and the guy says, aren't you going to help your son to do the homework? And she burst into to quarrel and a fight. Look at you, sitting down there doing nothing.
Yeah.
He went to report her that the woman is insulting him because he doesn't have money.
Culture.
Yeah, not only culture and the circumstances. That's another issue. You see, sometimes we cross the matter of money with other matters. The fact that a man is unkind to his wife, whether he has money or he doesn't have money, he can be kind, he can be unkind.
But isn't it easier?
By the way, you know, that woman was frustrated and she had come back, she was tired, and this man was actually the one that had the first lunge into her. Won't you? You know, so I think we always use other matters to kind of cause trouble for money and who earns money, who controls money. Just because in our culture for a long time, the men made the money and they controlled the money.
Well, ladies, I must take a break.
It might not even be true because our old mothers were traders.
When we come back, but the truth is there's drama in money, Sha. There's drama in money. So let's take a break. There's drama in money. We'll be right back. Well, as we come back, we promise ourselves that we'll talk about the drama in money. And I think I want to start from Fumi Event Nanny. Not Fumi. Because Fumi, I talked to her some time ago and she was telling me about how she went to the wedding and then the kids were just running all over the place. The daddies were confused. The nannies were confused. That was what set up what you're doing. But you see, where I'm going to is a function of men and women think differently. If it was a woman that was left to look after those children, she won't be as helpless as a man is. So we view money differently and so we act towards money differently. And that's what causes the drama.
The drama? I totally agree with you. Yes, we do act differently to the perception of money. You know, you said something that in Nigeria today, people we're focusing more on earning more money. And why is that? Perhaps because there's a lot of pressure sometimes on people. You have a lot of extended family problems, you know, and so you feel like, you know what you're earning at the moment is not sufficient.
There's a need to always
earn more.
And that puts pressure.
You know what, aside from that, I actually recall a friend of mine saying that it's probably even spiritual as well, because the Bible says that, yes, this was her own analogy. She was like, the Bible says that you should replenish, you should be fruitful. So when you've earned, you know, there's always an urge to want to do more, to earn more. You've earned 10 million today and you're like, I should be able to earn much more than 10 million.
Are we putting ourselves under more pressure? How does?
Sometimes I think
social media makes that.
Yes.
Our mothers have been earning money forever, even more than our fathers. We have a lot of people that their mothers was one that paid school fees and house rent and stuff and kept quiet. Some of our mothers that own large shops and they will just be there. And everybody would think that, if this man, and now you think he's the husband that did something. But it's just now that a lot of women, because we watched those women, those of our mothers and our grandmothers, we watched how our fathers that did not put money on the table took them for granted and made them look small. And because now the world is a village now, we now feel empowered. And yet you feel that as if it's disrespect, someone has cheated you. So a lot of we women now don't want to take that nonsense anymore. Yeah, I pay the bills just the way you pay the bills. So if I'm going into the kitchen, my friend, come and do something here. So we don't want to do that anymore. Everybody now, we know that our women can earn. They've been earning income for years, but it's just that we are now more vocal. And also now we're doing some jobs that we were not, they were not doing white-collar jobs before. They were just doing those small
now we're doing
other things. Now women are now stepping forward to do white-collar jobs and earning, and they also want to be MDs and EDs and governors and stuff like that. You know, and again now we want to travel, want to buy designers, want to do, so there's need for more money now, and why not?
So do you think money makes respect difficult? I mean, you've always been independent. You are the only girl in your house. Yeah. Do you feel special? Does it change anything?
That's why I say it's about the confidence of the man. If you are with a helpmeet, I've been married for 36 years, so we've had our ups and downs about money. We've seen how each one will react around money or lack of money. So after some time, it's about trust. It's about trust in the end. Money issue is about trust. But these two ladies brought up something you were talking about, drama. Two things which I'd like us to talk to. First is the fact that she was talking about how much is enough. Because she said you earn this and you want, and that somebody was using the Bible to replenish. To buttress the point that you never stop. You're looking for that much more because you're replenishing. So there's that point about what is enough.
So when is it a good time? When is enough money?
What is enough?
Okay, that's good. I like the reactions.
It has on Banana Island.
So think about it. No, think about it and tell me what is enough.
There's nothing like enough. If you have life and you can earn, it's just that, wait, look at Dangote now. Is he doing now because he wants to be the richest man, or is it because you get to a point where you're doing it because of the impact? You're doing it because you have seen that what you add to the society. Because when you earn money, it is you're actually doing something to the society. You're providing jobs for people.
We are hoping so. What about those who earn money with pen by stealing?
No, exactly. When we ask the question, what is enough? Saudat, a minute. When we ask the question, what is enough, we're actually saying, at what point do you stop putting undue pressure on yourself?
Okay, pressure on yourself, okay.
That is the point. Look, let me tell you, money is fungible.
What do you mean?
It's fungible. So as I'm sitting here, money is being made.
What does fungible mean? Means I don't understand.
It's there, it's growing, it is not this item, it is not this amount. Do you understand? Because when you were saying, what is enough, I was waiting for either of you to give me a figure.
10 million.
And I would have said,
what is enough is relative to different people.
Yeah. So can I just introduce a financial planning thing that would be very helpful to you?
Is it in this book?
It is in here.
Buy it, Joe.
The whole point, yes, buy the book. At Latana at Queen's session. Okay. This enough matter, there are two issues to consider when you're thinking about what is enough. It is, at what point do you stop putting pressure on yourself? You made the point, you have to travel, so there's need for more money now.
Yeah.
I don't
travel
know.
To where?
Exactly. And I don't understand that
you can go to
Abeokuta.
The money requires money.
Yeah, but you don't need as much money as going to London.
Went to Peru.
Or Peru.
No, there's no reason why you can't go to Peru if it doesn't put undue pressure on the finance of your family and yourself.
That's true.
So, which is where I go back to the financial planning. It's in the book. Financial planning says where you start is actually what is the lifestyle I intend to lead.
I like that. You determine your lifestyle.
Yes.
Ajegule or Banana Island.
When you have reached that, it's then easier to work back and kind of work at what we need to do, what it will cost, and the path you will take to get there. But it gives you a more organized aspect to life. By the way, you talk Dangote. I'm not one of those that like mentioning people's names because
he's acknowledged as Africa's richest.
No, the man
so we can mention
rich.
His name.
The man, you can mention his name, but the man is rich. But that cannot be what is in front of everybody's eyes. That is why societally, that's why societally everybody is running helter-skelter. It could cause that trouble.
For men especially, who want to impress women.
Women also want to be
exactly. But let me tell you, Dangote was not always there.
Absolutely.
And I want to tell people that money making becomes a habit. You start at what you start at. At a point, you're not actually making too much effort because it's become a habit. So the Dangote you talk about today...
He started somewhere.
He probably didn't think he would get here. But as he worked hard, as he did his transactions, it became a habit.
Okay.
And you don't wake up one day and stop.
Sis, let me tell you something.
Yes.
You can do all the things that Dangote did, and you won't end up that way.
Definitely.
So which is why I want to say, I'm curious to know what our own habits are. What are your habits? What are your money habits that you have developed? Me, I married saying that his money is our money. My money is my money. And it's still like that, oh. I really don't care because I changed my name from Osunde to Onyenokwe. So those children are Onyenokwe. So they are your responsibility, even if I have Dangote. Do you understand? Okay. So it might be a terrible warped perception, right? Yeah. But that's the way I think. How do you think?
I want to believe almost all women actually think
don't say
that.
So.
No,
don't assume.
Okay, I said I want to believe, you know, that, I mean, I also started out that way saying, oh, Gombe, your money is for the house, for all of us. And my own money is my own money.
Apparently, you have changed your mind.
I have changed, trust me. Over the years, I mean, life has happened. Yes, life has happened. And I think I'm wiser now. And I know that my money is our money. His money is also our money. You know, so we come together.
You have these old ladies. You have something to teach these
you know,
we
and
learn
then,
every day.
you know, we come together. We actually agree together on how to. Okay, now let me put it this way. We've made quite a number of investments together. Okay, let me put it this way. What has worked for both of us is I kickstart something. Now, you know, some men are very good at being very strategic, very pragmatic, like you said. They know what they know. And then some are not. Some, they need the women to actually help to kickstart.
Don't say they need the women. Some women are more pragmatic and strategic.
Aren't we hoping that their husbands will listen to them?
Thank you.
Yes.
Because I think that's also what has worked.
It
comes from, you know. So God has, I mean, the way He works with my husband and I kickstart something.
Are you the pragmatic one?
We're both pragmatic.
Maybe she might be the initiator.
I'm the initiator, thank you. But however, you see, no, I like that word. I truly am the initiator, you know. And his strength is, he takes it and then he runs with it and he finishes.
Dangote tomorrow.
No, for me, my money is our money. His money is our money.
Have you always been like that?
Yes, we've always started that way. It's our money. So I don't even control it. I don't even want to control. I don't even want that pressure. So even if I put money down for something, nobody will, even the kids will not even know I'm the one that put the money down because he himself, the way he behaves, as if the fact that I put this money down doesn't mean you have a right to open your mouth for anything. This is how we're going to do this thing. And sometimes I go like, I think I put this money down, you know. But we've had. I'm okay with that because I don't even want that pressure. But even when we're talking about doing stuff together, I also am the initiator. I'm the business person, but my husband is the management person,
so
fully management.
What are the key takeaways from that? I mean, you're the expert.
I wanted to say to you that from what they've said about our money is my money is our money, his money is our money, it just creates a better base.
Absolutely.
So if you trust your spouse, putting two sources of income together, it just has more run in it.
So I hope our men are raised that way. You're raising boys, right?
Yes.
So do you raise them to be, whether my wife earns more than me or not, whether she's smarter than me or not?
Number one, they've lived in the house with me until they've grown up and gone to work. So I don't think my own children actually would be able to deal with women who are not strong and who are not astute financial people because, you know, they're used to it and they are confident enough to allow her be.
Yes. I think we must give our final thoughts. We have about 2 minutes. And I would just say, for example, while I say our money, his money is our money, and my money is our... You know, they just said it now. Women, they spend all their money in the family. But I've learned that actually having your own money gives you a lot of respect. And women should understand that, right? And I'm hoping that men will also understand that if she's earning more, anytime she tells you, why are you drinking that beer? It's not a personal assault. Because if I'm the one that bought it, is it because she put it in the fridge? You know what I mean? They have men who do that to their wives. And I'm hoping that men would understand that if she's earning more, it doesn't diminish me because they feel like they've been, you know, they've been castrated sort of if the woman is doing all the work, you know. So final words from all of you, if you don't mind. Let's start with you, Saudat.
Money, ambition. I just want women to know that there's nothing wrong in being ambitious. There's nothing wrong in wanting more money.
So
there's nothing
money
wrong
is
in
an
it.
ambition?
No, ambition. Of course, when you have a huge ambition, is to achieve something in life and also earn money. There's nothing wrong in that, in being ambitious. There's nothing wrong in wanting more money. There's nothing wrong in being independent.
And you would say work for the money?
Work for your money. And being who I am, being a financial person, I say there's a wealth-generating mindset.
Okay.
And these are
I need to hear that.
Yes. To get that mindset, there are habits. So draw your purse strings. Don't waste money. Save, save, save. You can't save enough. That's number one. Number two, have the mindset of creating assets.
Bags?
No.
Gold?
Sometimes. So, travel,
real estate?
Never. Real estate. So, it is grow assets. Those are the things that are going to be valuable.
Grow assets.
Grow assets, say.
Okay, for me, I would say don't let the money rule you. You rule money.
Don't worship money.
Absolutely.
Don't worship money, but go for it. Thank you, girls. This lounge has been, I don't know whether they spoiled it today, but thank you all. And thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week. All the best, Event Nanny, for spending time with us.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me.
So what are the top decisions that the United States considers necessary that Nigeria must take? I like to think of my interactions as conversations, not interviews. And that's why I say asking questions is both an art and a science. Everyone says in Islam you are allowed to have 4 wives. Is it mandatory? The right question enables answers that educate, inform, clarify, and help you, the viewer, to better understand the issue before making up your mind.
Our goal is to reduce from 10 to 2 days the time it takes to register businesses in Nigeria.
Join me every week on this station, Plus TV Africa, and gain exclusive access to my conversations. I'm Angela Ajetumobi.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. From the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.
From north to south and east to west, life in Nigeria has become dangerously unbearable. The country is faced with what seems to be endless waves of homegrown security threats and violence. Nigerians live in fear, from terrorism to kidnappings, armed banditry, farmer-header clashes, ethnic violence, and separatist agitation. To better understand the causes of the unrest, as well as the true agitations of the people, Searchlight travels across Nigeria.
The bandits, I use the dark place, the forest place, to hang around. When our drivers reach there, they will come out and start shooting them.
In fact, if I can give an estimate, I can say that in a week we used to treat not less than five gunshots.
I look people and people living under siege.
Now, Owerri is too hot.
No rest of mind. Anybody.
If you sleep now, sleep with one eye closed, one eye open. Be vigilant. This is Igbora for you.
Igbora is one of the 7 communities that make up Ibarapa land. Ibarapa land comprises of Igongon, Erua, Ayete, Takpa, Idere, Lanlate, and Igbora in Oyo State, Nigeria's southwest region. There is a long-standing history dating back to the early 20th century between settler herders who are mostly of Fulani descent and local farmers in the Ibarapa axis. Recently, however, coexistence has become increasingly problematic as the communities are now plagued with kidnappings, farmer herder clashes, reprisal attacks leading to the forceful ejection of Sarakins and Fulanis in the area.
I have been back home here in Igbora since January because of the armed herders and farmers crisis that has been rocking nearby villages and farms. Although the Sarakin Fulani of Ngongo, Salihu, was evicted in January on accusations that he was helping evade justice, not much has changed. There are still incidences of kidnappings and attacks on farmlands.
This is Shekere village in Igbora. We live in fear. I do come earlier in the day and could enter the farm. You would find their cattle eating crops, and when confronted, they attack the owners of the farm. If perchance they meet a woman unaccompanied on the farm, she could be raped. There is no safety on farmlands.
The nomadic ones are moving around. The residential ones, we know them. Some of the residential ones are still within the community. They are peaceful. One incident occurred when our people they are outraged and they burnt all the Karas in the whole Ibarapa land, even that of Erua. In Igbora here now, there is no Kara again.
If you had burnt all the Karas in the whole of Ibarapa land, I want to think that Kara is a place for residential Fulanis.
No, Kara is a spot, a market for them to come and buy and sell.
So you have burnt.
Do you know? Come,
their economic
spots. Let me tell you some things about that Kara. Some things we discover about that Kara, especially that of Igbora here. That spot is a spot where they do hide their ammunitions. And in the nights like this, they will pick up those ammunitions, go out, kidnaps, rob, anything they can do. And when they come back to town the following day.
Kabir, you've done a lot of work out of Ibarapa land. What did you see? What do you know? Can you share your first-hand experience?
Not just in Igbora, not just in Lanlate, not just in Oyo State, but from my experience across the Southwest states, I realized that most of the killings, the kidnappings being perpetrated are being done by the Bororos, who are mostly referred to as foreigners. Some of these Bororos, they come into the country through Benin Republic, some through Cameroon, and you get to realize that in the essence of it all, some through Niger, that many of them are not the traditional Fulanis. And the reason is this: we've had cases where traditional Fulanis, those who are Nigerians, some of them who are from Kwara State, also alleged that they have also been kidnapped. They've also been victims of the attacks of these persons. Most times, those that perpetrate this act, they don't even have any cattle. All they have is gun, sword, and other weapons.
The violence doesn't end there. Nigeria is faced with the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, armed separatist agitations in the southeast, amid communal clashes in the Middle Belt, southwest, and south-south. Increasingly, violence between herders and farming communities is spreading from Nigeria's central belt southward, while kidnappings are rife nationwide. What exactly led to this?
When you see a failure of this scale, of this magnitude, and spread right across the country, the first thing that comes to mind is that somebody somewhere who has responsibilities to secure Nigerians has failed in their duties. There's no other explanation for this. So we have a country that is poorly run, poorly governed, and therefore unable to master the requirements of securing both citizens and the country itself. That is the first one. The second one is that there are a lot of opportunistic criminal activities going on. People understand the weaknesses, they perceive a weakness at the level of the state. They think the state is weak or the state is incapable of protecting citizens from all sorts of attacks, bandits, kidnappers, insurgencies, insurrections, secessionists, irredentists. All these people actually exist because the state has not been able to assert its obligation and responsibilities to protect citizens. And they are emerging and increasing by the day. The third one is the failure of the Nigerian elite to get together and demand that the Nigerian state does what it's supposed to do. The leadership does what they are supposed to do, that is to protect citizens. The voices that are supposed to be heard are not being heard. Too many people are quiet, either out of fear or because they think that they are not likely to make any impact if they don't raise their voices.
Traveling by road is now an extreme sport. On our trip to Kaduna State, we drove along the Kaduna-Benin-Gwari Road. The 123-kilometer road trip seemed easy enough, but we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. From Buruku village, right on the outskirts of Kaduna, there is a fully armored vehicle with soldiers who lead drivers 3 cars at a time from Buruku to Odoa town. This stretch is considered to be the most dangerous. Drivers have to wait their turn as they stand no chance of traveling safely to and fro Benin-Gwari without these escorts. From Odoa, the journey to Benin-Gwari is considered safe from the kidnappers and terrorists, whose victims are not just travelers but also villagers and farmers in and around this long stretch of road.
Our major problem in this area is insecurity. These terrorists have wrecked our town and destroyed our source of livelihood. Nobody sleeps in this town anymore. We take refuge in the neighboring community and come here every day at 8 or 9 a.m. and then leave at 3 or 4 p.m. Look at me. I'm the village head of this community. I used to own a car, but these criminals made me sell it to pay ransom for our children. I can't estimate how much we have paid to bandits as ransom because this community has been attacked more than 25 times.
We have a lot of problems in terms of insecurity on our road, more especially in between Burku and Udawa. So we have a lot of insecurity. We have only one vehicle, which is mobile police. They are the one escorting our members to carry them to Burku. Let's say from January up to now, at least we lost more than 30 of our members as a result of the bandits.
Forests in Nigeria are now hideouts for cattle rustlers, highway robbers, kidnappers, and terrorists due to the absence of state capacity or political will to exercise control. From Binigwari Forest in Kaduna to Rugu Forest in Katsina and Zafe in Zamfara, these forests are now referred to as ungoverned.
Erena is in Niger, Shiroro. From there you cross over to Polware.
What security measures have we put in place for farmers and the indigents that are easy prey to these bandits?
Well, I have explained to you that Kaduna is very vast. The state is so huge. We had over 46,000 square kilometers. And I have also explained to you that we are having this problem mostly in locations that are remote. You know, boundaries with Niger State, boundaries with Zamfara, boundaries with Katsina State. You know, the locations are very remote. Even if there's a distress call, before you get there, it takes you time because of the terrain, mobility problem. But the Air Force is complementing the ground troops and the police as well. Once we receive a distress call from a location that is very far, what we do, the Air Force move while the ground troops and the police form a blocking force, you know, and it is really yielding positive mark. We don't have enough boots on the ground. There's a need for us to scale up recruitment. There's a need for security operatives or our security agencies to outnumber the criminals. We are not relenting. We are working and we are making progress. In the first quarter of 2021, we were able to neutralize 64 bandits.
Our schools, just like our roads, have become hotspots of violence. Across northwestern Nigeria, from Zamfara to Kebbi, Kaduna and Niger, about 1,000 students of primary schools, secondary schools and even universities have been kidnapped since December 2020. Most have been released after payment of ransom, while scores are still being held in forest camps. Some of these students have died in captivity and some killed during the abductions. Earlier this year, after the kidnapping of students at Government Science College, Kagara, Niger State, I asked the governor, Malam Abubakar Sani Bello, if a state could guarantee the safety of school children.
No one can guarantee that unless we have the numbers, the manpower of security personnel required. The Niger State, for example, during the military administrations, Niger State had 14,000 policemen. Today we have 4,000. Same Rafi local government where this kidnapping took place, Kagara town itself has less than 10 policemen. So how will it work? How? What magic could you do? We don't employ or employ policemen. I understand in the past, the state police command had the powers to employ policemen from the states, but it is no longer like that. And that's probably the reason why we're having problems.
That was back in March. Not much has changed since. Many have said that the present centralized structure of the Nigerian police is too detached from local communities. A vote conducted by NOI polls indicates that many Nigerians are in favor of state policing to bring security closer to the people. Experts say there is a need to reflect on the current security approach across the country.
The various institutions need to sit back and, reflect that the current approaches that we are deploying to address security concerns, are they adequately addressing these issues? What are the intelligence mechanisms, that you need to put in place to really get information on how crime, is happening across various communities? So I think critically it is the model, it is the approach that seems to be a bit defective. We are practically waiting for violence to happen before we then react. We talk about community policing, especially for the police especially. I keep making reference to the police because they have the mandate when it comes to internal security. Community policing is very important. Then intelligence-led policing. We are not emphasizing that so much. Intelligence-led policing is that strategy through which you just want to get intelligence of what is happening in a certain community.
In the Southeast, insecurity takes a different dimension. According to authorities, agitators for the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a separatist group campaigning for Biafra independence, have been responsible for a spate of attacks on security forces and innocent people since December 2020. Olu, a local government in Imo State, has become a flashpoint of trouble in the region. On the 25th of January 2021, many Hausa-speaking traders in a market in Olu were going about their business when gunmen invaded the area, killing some and setting shops ablaze.
It is very, very unfortunate that this kind of thing would happen in 21st century Olu, 21st century Imo, 21st century Nigeria. People are not happy with the things, with the way this country is being run. When you talk about security, there is no security in Nigeria anymore.
We are here at the Islamic Central Mosque, Amafeke, and this is the third Friday without holding a Jumat service here because of insecurity issues. There is a lot of apprehension amongst the Muslim community.
This is my third year living in Olu, and I have never had any ugly experience living here until recently. During the NSAS protest, they burnt our mosque and killed some of our members in some part of Olu town. For 3 weeks now, we have been unable to observe our Jumat prayers in this mosque. We now live in fear. More worrisome is the absence of security operatives in the town. Despite all these incidents, the governor has not visited us to assure us or condole with us.
Since the January attack, Olu has had no peace. The people are in constant fear as these gunmen, time after time, unleash violence, destroy shops, kill, and even behead people in the community. In the southeast and south-south regions at large, dozens of security officials have been killed. Biafra agitation and the violence going on in the southeast have been said to be an untoward way of expressing dissatisfaction about leadership failure on the part of all tiers of government.
Well, I feel that there are many voices in the conversation to deal with the disaffection that people have about the Nigerian state. There are many voices, and evidently his is just one of those voices. But that may not be the optimal route to go. You know, there are so many benefits of a functional, democratic, sound constitutional state. But where there are imperfections, you will now begin to see the voice that, you know, Nnamdi Kanu echoes or propagates. War is terrible. You know, you know, sometimes you think about it from a more glamorous point of view, but it's bloody, it's heinous, it's damaging, it destroys families, societies, and so on and so forth. So my preoccupation is for peace. Okay, peace arrives through legitimate constitutional routes. That is what is most paramount. No society can develop without peace. And in terms of the disaffection of those of us who are from the Southeast goes, there's a need to hear us and to look at our grievances and to consider them on their merits.
The Southeast substantially mirroring Boko Haram. We have not been able to understand and deal with the issue of IPOB. The Igbo leadership allowed IPOB and ESN too much ground to take too much ground to control what is going on in the Southeast. So they misread the threat of organizations like IPOB. There was opportunism, crass opportunism. People thought maybe this IPOB will do for us what we want. They will get for the Igbo what the Igbo didn't get through the political process. And eventually now we are creating a monster. And it's a monster that is eating up the local environment, the same way Boko Haram ate up Borno and Yobe and parts of Adamawa. IPOB and ESN are eating up the Southeast. The federal government is throwing the military at them, the same way they threw the military at Boko Haram, rather than trying to understand the real issue. What is behind IPOB? Who supports them? Why do they support them? What is the issue that has made IPOB attractive to a large number of young people? Can you do something about it? Is it something you need to do about it?
I would say that the Southeast governments can do a whole lot better. The state governments, they can do a whole lot better in delivering services to the various constituent parts of the Southeast. We don't see enough of government in our rural communities, in the local government. We need to raise the bar as per the effectiveness of subnational entities. All right. Once we've gotten to a point where we can say for certainty that the state governments are operating optimally and delivering their own share of the governance dividend, then we can look elsewhere to seek inputs. But state governments in the Southeast need to up their game.
The Nigerian police force, on whose shoulder the responsibility of protecting the nation lies, is unable to perform its basic functions, forcing the Nigerian military to step in.
A society gets the kind of police that it pays for. Over the years, successive administrations have not made the connection around policing and development. So they just see the police as, oh, that is the police, and not critically putting it in the position of primacy, because people need to be safe internally first. You need to take care of the internal enemy before you begin to look at those ones that are threatening you on the outside. So over the years, there's been consistent underfunding, which is very, very critical. You want to undertake police operation, it has to do with funds, it has to do with state-of-the-art technology, equipment, and all of that. And then the manpower, less than 400,000 police personnel currently police a country of over 200 million. So what it means is that there is inadequacy somewhere. The police right now is overstretched. The country is very big and diverse. And then if you look at the scale of insecurity that is happening, you know, it changes rapidly. So what it means is that the security landscape is not constant. You understand? So the police is trying to really grapple with all of this in the midst of very meager resources in terms of training, in terms of equipment, in terms of manpower, and every other thing. Government's approach in trying to address some of these inadequacies by the police has been to set up committees, police reform committees. But the question again is that each of these successive government that comes in, set up a committee, do they make reference to the last committee to say, okay, what did my predecessor, found when he talk about policing challenges? How can I build upon that and actually implement this to make the police effective? But no, our approach has been that, okay, I get into office and then I'm setting up my own committee.
Though the carnage isn't over yet, in more recent times, the joint military effort of the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Air Force has recorded more success in combating terrorists and criminals.
In the last few months, the synergy and jointness among the three services has been cordial and overwhelming, which has resulted in the decimation of most of the criminal elements we have in this country.
While Nigeria may or may not reform its police soon, critics say the new conception of security now places emphasis on human and non-military variables, saying even the best of soldiers and policemen may be unable to maintain security in a country with a whopping 33% unemployment rate. Nigeria cannot solve its insecurity problems in isolation of other developmental issues. Where we go from here depends on our ability as a people, a government, and a nation to make the urgent steps needed to pull our country, Nigeria, from the brink.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408 or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Life can be fun and rewarding, but it also comes with some risk. As in business, you win some, you lose some. And that's why you need to be wise in the choices you make. It's like placing a bet. Again, you need to be wise. Wise in choosing an innovative platform with the highest market options and highest odds ever. That's why Winners Golden Bet, the leader in online, in-shop, virtual, and live sports betting, gives you enhanced platforms that offer you the best chances of winning. For betting on live soccer matches, live dog races, and virtual games, Winners Golden Bet is your best bet. Instant payment of winnings guaranteed. Play online or in any of our numerous shops nearest to you.
Hey guys, be wise. Play on Winners Golden Bet.
Winners Golden Bet, the wise choice.
There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa. Good afternoon. This is the news update. I am Messi Bopo. The police in Anambra State has confirmed the headline of the lawmaker representing Governor Chukwuma Soludo's constituency in the Anambra State House of Assembly, Okechukwu Okoye. The lawmaker and his aides were kidnapped along Azulbo Road, Anocha local government area of the state. He represented Oguta 2 constituency in Anambra State. Eyewitness Okoye's head was dumped at the Chisco Park in Amechi, Nnewi South local government area on Saturday, 6 days after he was abducted. Reporting to the mother, the Governor Charles Soludo reassured the people of his administration's resolve and renewed determination with security agencies to go all out against criminals and ensure that they are brought to justice. He placed a 10 million naira reward for anyone or group that would avail valuable information that would lead to the arrest of the perpetrators of the disaster act. The Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has called for the sack of the Imam of the Abuja National Mosque, Professor Ibrahim, for justifying the killing of Deborah Samuel by Islamic fanatics. Soyinka accused the Islamic clerics of inciting his followers to take laws into their hands in the name of religion. The renowned author lamented the rising cases of lynching of people in the name of religion, calling for the end of such acts in the country. The death toll in the building collapse on Lagos Island has risen to 4. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, also announced that 5 persons have been rescued. The Zonal Coordinator Southwest of NEMA, Ibrahim Farinloye, said the further investigation from the incident showed that the collapsed building was under construction. He added that the developer, who were converting the bungalow building into a 3-story building before it collapsed, he assured that the emergency responders were working hard to get to ground zero. The federal government has slammed a new tax on phone calls in the nation to afford free healthcare for the vulnerable group in Nigeria. This is despite recent moves by telecommunication companies to increase the price of their services. The telecom tax, in the equivalent of a minimum of 1 kobo per second for phone calls, is part of the source of funds required to finance free healthcare for the vulnerable group in Nigeria. This is contained in the National Health Insurance Authority Bill 2021, recently signed by President Muhammadu Buhari. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, is set for its primaries scheduled for today. This was contained in a brief communique by Umar Bator, the PDP's National Organizing Secretary. Honorable Bator revealed to aspirants to various elected positions in the 2023 general election delegate and teaming members of the party, the People's Democratic Party, that the primaries is set to nominate candidates for the 2023 general elections who commence as officially scheduled. However, Bator stated that the senatorial primaries to elect senatorial candidates will hold on Monday, May the 23rd. He noted that the National Working Committee has approved that in the event of unforeseen logistic situation, activities of senatorial primaries, which may extend to Tuesday, May the 24th, 2022. As always, to checkmate the activities of irregular migration in Nigeria, International Organization for Migration, IOM, says it has reintegrated 89,000 returnees back to the society. The IMO awareness and the IMO officer raising the awareness said this during a 3-day training program in conjunction with Global Migration Media Academy for journalists across the 36 states of the Federation.
Train journalists in terms of understanding our migration. Migration is huge. We have the different factors that contribute to issues on migration. For instance, issues such as climate change. We even have issues such as culture. These are some of the issues that from time to time we've not seen even in the mainstream media. That's why it's really crucial for any journalist who will want to be an expertise, or any journalist who want to venture more into reporting migration issues, to also have a background on these different nexus of some of the things that actually influence the migration.
But the issue is that not enough information or knowledge has been shared formally about the phenomenon of migration. And so people pick what they know or think about the phenomenon and talk about. Some correct, some not correct. So we now have the importance of this training that focuses on giving out, if you like, the full story about migration and how we should tell the story. So
Gideon Barrett, in partnership with the European Union delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, African Development Bank, Nexium Bank and Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, organizing mental health work with the theme Inner Peace is Priority. It's in commemoration of Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health is a critical part of the health and well-being of every society, yet it has been neglected in Nigeria with little awareness, like many other global countries across the world. Nigeria is faced with multiple public health challenges. It is pertinent to accelerate the conversation around mental health and how individuals can remain mentally and emotionally stable despite the life challenges that besiege us all.
Find outlets to push this negative energy or the thoughts that go out in our mind using music, walk, interacting, connection with people, and the coping mechanism to just deal with the mental issue and protect our inner peace. You see, for parents, you know your child more than anybody else. School, being in school is not enough anymore. The teachers are also grappling with issues. You need to look at the body language and non-verbal communication of your children. There's also pressure in school. If you see that your child is not happy, you need to also compartmentalize being a mother and a father to also being a friend to your child. Let them be able to talk to you. Let them be able to talk to you in the different avenues of being a mother or a father, to being a friend, to understand what are the issues they're dealing with and how you can deal with it at home.
People are taking advantage, public bodies are taking advantage of what's available within the mental health improvement state. Like we always say, every day should be a mental health day, and I'm happy to see this happening. But you can see from all indications, a very good demographic was represented. We had the younger ones, we have the older ones coming together. It means people are beginning to understand that mental health affects us all, irrespective of our age and gender. But one thing we've learned here today is that mental health is not discriminatory. Mental health is not respect of anyone. Anybody can have it any time in his or her lifetime. But this has been a very good program, and it turned out I'm very impressed.
Actually, the work is very supportive for the mental health, because people that ignore mental health, it's very important in each house. You can see your partner, your wife, your kids, maybe they need help, but they will not show it to you. You have to ask them always, are you okay? Do you need any help? So mental health, it's really important for each one of us.
Nigerians speak on the need for regular medical checkups as untreated cases of hypertension double. And that's on our Street Views. Take a listen.
But as far as I'm concerned, people are very, very scared about going to hospital to check up. Simply because the day they go to hospital to check for them, to ask about their checkup, about their health-wise, whatever, when they tell them you're carrying so disease in your body, it will be like, what's all this? So their days of death will start counting from that day. So that's why you see many people, they'll be running for it. And if you look at it, average of Nigerians are dying every day simply because of ignorance, of not going to do their medical checkup.
Some believe go to the general hospital, involve a hectic tax. that you want to go to a general hospital, it's a thing that will probably take a whole day to do. Then why other that want to go to private hospital consider the financial issues? That is not easy go by.
The truth is bitter. You still have to check your health because, like I said, health is wealth. It's very important to do the checkup before it's too late. Once it's too late, there's no going back. Yeah, it's quite expensive. We all know medical aspects in Nigeria is expensive. So we're still waiting if the government can still try and make something affordable for everybody.
They will say, go and do this test, 50,000. Go and do that test, 100,000. Even people that don't have money, that carry ordinary fee for there, and I tell them to go and do tests of 150,000, 30,000. Where would they get the money? Immediately they add the price of the money, their BP will arise, and they will later die.
If it's possible to have an insurance, go for an insurance that will be able to cover up for your bills when it comes to medical issues.
Nigerian mentality in going for medical checkup is very poor. Some will tell you that I'm not sick. Why should I go to the hospital for checkup? But it is very, very important. Cost of medical checkup in Nigeria is very high. But sometimes in government hospitals, but even when you go to government hospitals, you even be stressed up, the queue and all that. So you still have to go back to private hospitals. But at the same time, no matter how expensive it might be, our health is very, very important.
And in business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has dismissed reports that it intends to replace the Naira note in circulation with digital currency, the e-Naira. The CBN Director of Corporate Communication, Mr. Osita Nwasiobi, in a statement said the report was false and misleading. He explained that the digital version of the Naira was meant to complement the existing currency note and thereafter would circulate simultaneously as means of exchange and store value. Nwasiobi touted the benefit of the e-Naira, stressing that apart from its safety and speed of use, it will give the underbanked and unbanked populace greater access to financial services and enhance financial inclusion. And that's the news update. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And do visit our website at www.plustvafrica.com and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. I am Messi Bopo. Many thanks for watching. There is no voting on social media. To vote, you would require a permanent voter's card. To get your PVC, visit cvr.inecnigeria.org. Create your account with a valid email address and start the registration process. An activation link will be sent to you. Click on the link and activate your account. Fill out the form, pick and submit a convenient date and time for your biometrics. Print the application slip, which should have your QR code. On the appointed date, go to the nearest INEC office for your biometric capturing. Thereafter, you will get a registration slip to pick your permanent voter's card when ready. Get your PVC today. This message is from Plus TV Africa.
This is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
My leg represents my hand. God is a miracle worker, and nobody's useless. It's the only when you want to make yourself a useless person. God sees that I cannot make use of the hand, so He gave me the opportunity to be making use of the leg. My name is Tomaunu. I'm an artist, a landscape painter. I'm from the other state. I love colors a lot. I love playing with colors. My painting mostly based on landscape painting. So since I love colors, I will just think how to mix the colors together to bring out the stuff that I have in mind.
Oftentimes in Nigeria, people with any form of disability are most of the time treated with a certain level of compassion, maybe love, and sometimes pity. Today, I meet Toma, differently abled person, and she shares her story of strength, of courage and resilience with me.
My leg represents my hand, this thing that I believe that God do. God is a miracle worker, and nobody's useless. It's the only when you want to make yourself a useless person. God sees that I cannot make use of the hand, so He gave me the opportunity to be making use of the leg. So I use the leg to feed myself. I use it to operate my phone. I use it to do so many things that I can do.
Toma is not defined by her situation, but fiercely and graciously uses her gift to express herself.
Painting is just like my voice. Majority of my painting is just expressing yourself through colors, just appreciating the nature. So.
These are what? She used this leg to paint, but she didn't use the hand. I'm telling you, tó máa bẹ́ tàwọn times 100 kò kí ń ṣọ̀lẹ ó dẹ̀ ṣe kò kí ń ṣọ̀lẹ kò dẹ̀ kí ń ṣọmọ tó yẹ pé bó ṣe ó máa ń rí iṣẹ́ ó máa ń sá sẹ́yìn kò kí ń fi iṣẹ́ ṣeré bó ṣe wà yìí iṣẹ́ kò kí ń fi ṣeré ó tẹ́ lọ́rùn kó ná last kọ́bọ̀ lórí iṣẹ́ yẹn tó bá ná last kọ́bọ̀ lórí iṣẹ́ yẹn á fi iṣẹ́ yẹn á fi pè owó jáde.
God has given her a kind of knowledge that is beyond human understanding. Despite that, you cannot make use of hand to write and painting, but you can use her leg to paint very well. And by the time she has finished the painting, people just be looking at her that you see the one that has done it. Even majority normally argue, especially the visitor, that they don't normally believe that she's the one until when she started doing it in their presence. That's the time they go to do. And people that used to come here, they normally appreciate her by try as much as possible to buy some of her painting.
If you look at so many of my paintings, it's based on nature. Why I say so is that, God is the greatest artist, and everything He did is perfect. And if you look at the sky day by day, you think there's so many beauty.
But just how did Toma discover this giftedness of hers?
Actually, it was a friend of mine that bring out the gift in me. She saw me feeding the children with my leg. So she said, we can do something better than feeding the children with my leg. So she was the one that God used for me.
With the help of an assistant assembling her painting tools, Toma demonstrates her painting skills while sharing the emotions and relief painting brings to her.
Sometimes I don't believe that I was the one that did it. It's a little bit difficult for me to believe that the works are done by me. My own painting gives me an assurance that I can still give back to society. Why I say so is that, when I was still much younger, I thought I'm not useful. Let me use it, because I could not use the art and every other thing. So I was just thinking that, how are you going to do this?
Toma shares her challenges, not focusing on it as a stumbling block, but
She sets the tone on the positive as she reveals the hurdles of her life's journey.
According to a proverb that said, no pain, no gain about life. Life is full of challenges, and the one we live, the one we see them around. Talking about the challenges, the first time in school, I will never forget it. At the first time in school, I went to Akoka Junior High School, or junior school. But the first time I went to that school, when I went to go meet the principal, that I went with some of the staff here, and when we got there, the principal does not know that I understand Yoruba. He said something that, why do they bring someone like her to school? And that she's not supposed to be in school. All she needs is just for you to put her somewhere to be eating until God says. I have to say something that, sir, may the good Lord have mercy on you. He was shocked. He could not believe that I heard what he said. I just thank God for the owner of the challenges, because he knows the key to every challenge. And he makes a way when there seems to be no way. I give glory to God, because if not for him, I don't know what could have happened to me. So many challenges. And, you know, there's this thing that keeps me going that time. If there's no challenges, there will not be testimony. I faced a lot.
In spite of Toma's visible challenges, Toma has a positive outlook towards life and the people she comes in contact with. Her caregiver and one of her teachers reveal the other aspects of Toma.
Toma jẹ́ ọmọ kan tó jẹ́ pé kọ̀ra mọ́yàn, ó dẹ̀ kó gbogbo ìyànjú, kò kọ́ra, ó ń bọ́mọdé ṣe, ó ń bá gbà ṣe, gbogbo àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ gan, ó ní ibi kọ̀ọ̀kan tó ti máa ń dùn wọn nú. Òye ó jẹ́ pé èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé bó ṣe wà yẹn kò mọ bó ṣe ń hide the feelings ẹ̀ tí nǹkan bá ti ń dùn bá ó máa sọ ń pé alágbádá bá ó dẹ̀ ṣẹ̀ mí o, ó dẹ̀ ti tán nínú ẹ̀, kò mọ bó ṣe ń báyàn yànjú. Ó jẹ́ ọmọ alálùbáríkà, mo gbàdúrà kọ́ lọ bá mi pèsè ọkọ alálùbáríkà fún kọ́ iṣẹ́ kó má di ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lọ́wọ́.
She's the type that wants us to move closer because of behavior, attitude, characters, and the kind of love that she used to show to people. The way God has created her, we thank God because He's unquestionable God. I just thank God for her life because, despite the fact that her disability, she can prove to the whole world that she can still do certain things as far as her condition is being concerned. She loves everybody because I recollect that yearly, as a staff of this school, especially women, I don't know, maybe it's doing it with the women too, she used to present us a gift as men in this school, no matter how token it is.
She tells me the place of God in her life, making her achieve more than she can imagine.
God is my strength. You know, God is a wonderful God that, despite what you are going through, you will surely find a way to make you smile. You will surely find. Though the world may tell you that you are not this, you are not that, but as long as you have this God, you will surely find a way to make you happy. My strength is from God. My joy is from God. Everything is from God. Despite everything that you're going through, everybody goes through a lot in this country, Nigeria. All you just need to tell yourself is that I can make it. I can do it. And just keep on smiling. By the time God works, you won't know. You will just be asking yourself, is it me? Am I the one? Just put your trust in God and try to do the little things that you know how to do. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on God, especially if you give up on yourself, people will give up on you.
And what's more, this 28-year-old lady challenged once again the thought of entertaining self-pity.
I used to feel pity for myself, but not anymore, because God has given me the strength. God has shown me that despite my challenges, I can still go places. by giving me the opportunity to paint with my leg, by giving me the opportunity to show that there is ability in disability.
Well, not much is known about the condition data-wise, and so according to a 2018 article from The Guardian, there are more than 100,000 cases of cerebral palsy in Nigeria, with most affected individuals in need of care due to cerebral palsy effect on functional abilities. But more alarming is a recent data according to Benola Initiative, an initiative aimed at creating awareness on cerebral palsy in Nigeria. The condition affects 17 million persons worldwide and over 700,000 in Nigeria alone. Whereas that data claims a huge number of people live with cerebral palsy, what is more unnerving is that half that number may likely wallow in self-pity. Toma has proven to be an exception, full of life, deep in thoughts and full of cheers.
Wow.
Emotional, she recalls her journey to education and how having a degree remained her most joyful day.
Every day whenever I wake up, I always just for something that God should give me joy. That's what all the challenges. The day that I finished my NC program, even before that day, I would just sit in the hostels, start screaming, start shouting, start singing. But on the day that I finished my NC, I was just like, are you sure that I finished? Are you sure that I finished? And when I always say, oh, what to marry girl? I said, are you sure that it is Toma? She said, it is you. So